what kind of was the trigger for that?
Yeah, for sure. I've definitely seen that mindset as a defense kind of evolve. I mean, we talked about it last year a little bit, and it's kind of it's something that we talk about as a defense. Some of the older guys is that we're going to be the reason that we go out and win games. It's not going to, no matter what's happening on the other side of the ball, no matter what's happening special teams, whatever it is, it's like the defense. We're going to play good enough, hard enough, long enough to be the reason that we win games, and that's kind of our mindset going into camp. I think that's going to help us just to continue to develop and not get complacent as a defense. We're just going to keep getting better and better.
What you said that you've seen the transformation? I guess what was it like before?
I mean, it's. I wouldn't say it was really so much different. It just gets talked about more now, right? The older guys are on the defense. We bring it up, and it's more in our minds all the time now, rather than just kind of us going out and playing. It's like we're out there because we're going to be the reason that we'll win games, no matter what the situation. Even if we're up by 30 points, like we're going out there on every single drive, like we're going to make a game-winning play.
I mean, kind of along the same lines, the program has, had a number of losing seasons now, but yet just when you look at the vibe or feel the vibe of the players and coaches, it's like you wouldn't know that this team hasn't had a winning season in a long time. Why is that?
I think that's just because we know the work we put in. We know what we've done to put ourselves in that mindset and get us to that point. And so we're confident. We know we put the work in. We know we're going to continue to put the work in through camp, and we're going to be ready to roll for the season.
Nash, you've been through a couple of camps now. I mean, with this much experience and as strong as the defense could be this year, for the defensive line group specifically, what would you say the number one thing you want to get better at is before the season starts?
Something we talk about is just our four-man rush, just being able to get to quarterback with four guys, not having to send that extra blitzer, and that's it's something that we talked about, something we talked about a lot in the spring, talking about just pass rush lanes, all that stuff that goes with it, and I think we're going to continue to get better and better at that, and I think we're going to be a really good four-man rush team.
Who's that fourth guy?
I mean, we got a lot of guys that could play. I could tell you 6 different people that it could be. I mean, obviously Cam, Jamari, me, Ty, Elijah Judy, MJ Sherman, Prince Will, Riley Van Poppel, Sua. I mean, I think we have so many guys on that defensive line that can play really high-level football. So during games when we're subbing in and out, I mean, I don't think you're going to see much of a drop-off between our starting 3 guys. I think we should have 6 guys on the defensive line that could be starters. So.
When you were here, I think in 21, they had a pretty darn good defensive line that year too. Mm-hmm. But it feels like this group is just even deeper. How impressed are you with Sua and Riley and some of these kids that have come in and ready to play?
Yeah, that's Sua, Riley, Vince Carroll, Jackson. Those guys. I mean, I've been super impressed with them. They came in obviously last year as freshmen, and they've done nothing but work and continuing to develop. And they take the coaching, they take us older guys trying to help them out. They want to be really good at football, and it shows in how they work and how they prepare.
Coach Rule always says the best teams are player-led. How have you seen that take shape even this year compared to a year ago?
That's like this summer. Coaches were gone for a good amount of times. We were running a lot of player-led workouts, and they ran smooth. There was no drop-off from when coaches were here to where coaches were gone. Things ran smooth. The older guys took charge, and I was really happy with how that went this summer.
I think T. Knighton said the other day the thing he loves is you have a different style leadership than maybe Jamari and Ty. Do you see that? Like you all kind of have a different way of doing it?
Yeah, me and Ty and the guys, we always joke how Ty's kind of the bad cop and I'm the good cop at the time. But we definitely, me, Jamari, Ty, Judy, we all kind of have a little different ways in how we lead, and I think we mesh really well with those aspects. And that's really cool to have. Just different guys need different leadership, so it's cool to have a variety of ways that we can lead guys.
So Ty rips someone and you kind of put the arm on him.
Yeah, that's how it is sometimes, and I'm working on being a little meaner this year. So.
When you look back at it, how much fun did you have wrestling this year?
Oh, gosh, I had so much fun doing that. I think it was the best thing I could have done. Obviously, I dropped a bunch of weight for that. Feeling really good now athletically. I feel more explosive, more powerful. Just being able to move a lot better now. So couldn't be happier that I did. I had a blast doing that, getting to know those guys.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was going to ask you. You know, does it give your mind kind of something to think about other than just football?
Yeah, that was also something that was cool about it. It just wasn't, you know, I've been doing football workouts for 4 years in a row, and so to go do that this year was so much fun. I think just because it was something different too. It wasn't just lifting weights, running, doing drills. Like it was something completely different than I had done for 4 years. So that part of it made it a lot of fun too.
When you hadn't lost from so many years when you were in high school and then you go back out there, what did what happened in terms of your one-loss record match what you expected going in, or did you expect, oh man, I'm far behind, I know how good these guys will be?
Yeah, I mean I knew going in that those guys are some of the best wrestlers in obviously the country and in the world is some of them, and so I wasn't going in there thinking I'm going to go undefeated, right? I went in there, it was pretty cool because it was kind of the first time in my wrestling career I didn't have that pressure to go out there and pin a kid in the first period or go out and win. So it was pretty cool to be able to just go out there and like wrestle free, just like have fun with it, go out there and whatever happens, happens. So that was, obviously I'm very competitive and like losing sucks, but to be able to go out there and not have that expectation of going out there and winning every single match was pretty fun.
Have you seen your defensive coordinator, Tony White, maybe just amp things up in year two after a really good year for you guys last year?
Yeah, that's, we played pretty good football last year, and one of the first meetings we had with all the new freshmen, you know, all the new guys on the team was he literally set the tone with the meeting is this group hasn't done anything yet. Like whatever we did last year, that doesn't matter. This group of guys in this room hasn't done a single thing yet, and I think that set the tone pretty well for what he expects from us is to not get complacent and just continue to develop and get better and better. He really came in, first thing he said is he set the tone for that, is that this group hasn't done anything.
Can you do a backflip like Gable Stevenson?
No, I'm not quite there yet.
What's the dynamic like, you know, having the coaches in the dorms with you guys to start training camp?
Yeah, it's cool. We all like it because it's like, well, if we have to stay in the dorms, like, yeah, you guys should too. So I think it's pretty cool that Coach Rule and all those guys stay in the dorms with us. And I don't know if you guys remember last year, of course, we had some pranks that we pull on the coach. We saran wrap their rooms and stuff. So it's a fun dynamic.
So you have to keep your head on a swivel then for revenge this year?
Yeah, no, that's for sure. I honestly couldn't believe T Knight didn't do anything to get us back really last year. So yeah, we'll all be paying attention this year.
It still might be coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey Nash, where does the confidence come from that you guys can take that next step when this team on the field at least hasn't done it yet?
It just comes from, like I said a little while ago, it comes from the work that we put in. Like we know we've done what it takes to play high-level football again, and it's the leaders in the group telling guys that, you know, like we could be special again, we could have a really good defense again. So it just comes from the work that we put in and continue to develop and keeping that hunger. That's where the confidence can come from.
And Coach Rule has called this a player-led team more than once. How does that show up to you? How do you see a player-led team?
I see guys that, you know, might have some things going on. They don't go coaches right away. They go to older guys on the team. They go guys come to us for things that they maybe have opinions on or whatever it is. You know, it's like they're not going straight up to the top of the ladder. They ask some of the older guys stuff, and they like when we have player-led workouts, we don't skip a beat from when coaches are there, right? Like guys, the younger guys on the team and the older guys, we know what the standard is, and we just continue to keep working.
Nash, the turnover margin has been addressed on the offensive side of the ball. Jamar was talking about you guys got a lot of stops, but you guys want to force more turnovers. What has that conversation been on what the defense can bring to fixing that turnover issue?
It's just been, it's like you can talk about it all you want, right? We can say, oh, we're going to turn the ball over more, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but it just comes down to what we do. Like we'll start off every practice with a turnover circuit, just working drills, working punching at the ball, working our eyes, working all these different skill sets, and then when we're actually out on the practice field is, you know, the ball's near you, you're punching it out. If the ball's away, you're thudding up or you're tagging off in the hips. So and then if guys aren't doing that up to our standard, obviously you get on them and get it corrected, and then pretty soon everyone's out there. Everyone looks the same, and that's going to be a big emphasis for us during this camp is just to develop those skills so we can turn the ball over more.
And how got to your station, but how did the wrestling season change you as an athlete or make you different coming into the football season?
Obviously lost a bunch of weight, and I was I feel great. I feel very explosive. I feel more athletic than I did last season. I love the weight I'm at right now. I'm like 310. I think it's a really good weight for me, and just continue to develop my skills outside of just being a hard nose technique.
What was the most changes you had to make to your diet as far as losing that weight and then putting it back on?
The biggest change for me was just the right time to eat things, right? So it was like I pretty much ate most of my carbs in the morning. Towards the night, toned carbs down just to not have those big, heavy meals at night, and that was a big thing. And it was just portion control. Obviously, is just really big. Just not eating as much as I did before, but still making sure I'm getting enough of the protein, getting enough of the nutrients I had. Kristen and her staff and Ron over at Wrestling, I mean, they did an incredible job with helping me with that transition and making sure I'm eating the right things at the right time. They were phenomenal. I mean, they made it super easy for me. So
when you're on the field, like, how do things feel different for you now that you're at a different playing weight and your body composition's a little different?
There's just certain movements and certain, positions I find myself in where I'm like, gosh, like, I don't know if I could have, like, bent like that around the edge before. Like, it's nothing too crazy, but there's just certain moments out there where I'm like, geez, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that low on this rep a year ago today, right? So it's feeling a lot more athletic, feeling a lot more versatile when I'm out there playing. So it's been great.
What makes Corey Campbell and that whole operation so effective? We've seen how guys have changed their bodies. I know it's connected to what Kristen does too.
Yeah, that's Coach Campbell. He is a mastermind when it comes to all that stuff, but he's also hired a great staff around him. Like Mitch, our sports scientist, and all the other assistant strength coaches. There's nothing that we do to where you could ask, like, why are we doing this, and they will give you the exact reason why we're doing this, when we're doing it. They have everything down. I mean, they just do an unbelievable job with everything that they do to get us ready. And obviously they work very closely with Kristen. Anything that Kristen needs from him, knowing when workouts are, knowing whenever this is, so she can make sure that we have the right fuel, the right everything. So he works very closely with her. So Coach Campbell and his staff that he's hired, they're unbelievable. Everything that we do has a very specific purpose is why we're doing it.
Is there an O-lineman we don't talk about as much that's tricky to go against?
Yeah, I would say, obviously last year Justin Evans-Jenkins played a lot more, but I think Justin is just going to be a phenomenal player for us this year. He's a hard worker. He does the right stuff all the time, and it's starting to show up for him, so I'm super excited for him.
Hey Nash, they call you the polar bear. Do you like that nickname? And if there was polar bears wrestling and playing defensive line, is that how you would play, like a polar bear?
Yeah, I would say for sure. Yeah, I love the nickname. It kind of the nickname just started probably when I was getting recruited by Nebraska, and of course someone called me at one time, and then my dad hashtagged the polar bear on some stuff, and then Husker fans, once I committed, found that out and just ate it up. So that's kind of how that whole thing started.
Yeah.
It led to a commercial, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
do we have a sequel, or are we just still rolling with the last?
We're just rolling with the last one for now.
How was that, by the way?
That was a lot of fun. It was. I remember they sent me the script for it, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is unbelievable. But it was super fun to be able to work with those guys over at SOS, and they were awesome. They're good. They're just great people too. We hung out afterwards. They gave me lunch afterwards. I mean, it was an awesome experience.
How long did it take you to shoot it?
Not as long as I thought it would.
Well, you're
probably
I nailed your lines.
Yeah, I nailed my lines. A couple of them we had to do a couple takes. The big one was the pool scene, jumping into the pool. We had to make sure we got that one right on the first time, just so that would look right. But yeah, it was awesome.
Did you talk to DeColdest at all about?
No, I never really talked to him about it.
Who's next in line?
Yeah.
I mean, you've got the polar bear. You had DeColdest.
Yeah,
I know.
know.
Who's next for that company?
I don't know. I'm sure they'll figure it out.
Thanks, Nash.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Hey, Nash, when the news kind of hits that Dylan's coming, like,
Was that a big deal to you guys? Like, were you excited about that?
Yeah, obviously, anytime you can get a player that's as highly recruited as Dylan, that's going to be really exciting news. And he is obviously he's young. He's a freshman. I'm looking forward to seeing how he develop. I think our quarterback room with Dylan, Danny, and Heinrich, and all the other guys in that room, I think it's going to be really fun to see that. See the competition of things play out. I'm just super excited to watch all those guys play. I think they're all really good players.
I'm sure you answered this, but what did you get your weight back up to for the start of camp?
I'm 310 right now. Yep. So plan to just kind of hang around there, and just go from there.
Nash, coach talked about just kind of the experience of this defensive line. Maybe this has already been touched on, but how much does that excite you as a season knowing you guys kind of still got work, but you guys have done this before together?
Yeah, no, it's super exciting. Last year I thought we had a lot of really good players, but not all of them had experience. And so now for guys like Cam and Riley and Sua and Vincent and all those guys they got that extra year of experience and they put in all the work all summer long. Well, we all put in all the work all summer long. It makes me even more excited to see those guys continue to develop through camp and just be ready to play this season.
Yeah, talking about you're the leader on this team, but how do you kind of instill that culture? Some of the other guys, the new guys, your younger guys, and kind of say this is our standard. And how we do that.
Yeah, no, it's really not too tough. We have really good group of guys that came in this summer and just. Right, you tell them what the standards are and stuff, but then it's going out there and doing it yourself. So I like to think I'm I lead by example, and so when they see me out there doing the things right all the time, it just continues to carry over to them.
Yeah, last thing, it's kind of a silly thing, but it's supposed to be really hot this week. How do you mentally prepare for that? Obviously, the small things.
Yeah, no, it's for me you can't control how hot it is outside, right? You can only control how you practice out there. So I'm not worried about the heat. That's just going to be something that you're going to have to deal with, and it's just preparing for hard-nosed practices. That's what I'm preparing for. I'm not preparing for the heat.
All right, that's all the time we got for Nash. Thank you, Nash.
Yep.
We'll have Ramir Johnson over here next.
Thank you.